10 questions the Philadelphia 76ers need to answer before the season begins. I got my boy Vince Miracle to break it all down. Let's get to it, brother. Let's not waste any time. Can Joel Embiid stay healthy and lead the 76ers to a top 3 seed without Ben Simmons?
No, I personally don't see it happening. I mean, Joel Embiid hasn't shown it yet, right? Like every season, at some point, he has been injured since the start of his career. So, I mean, to believe that now with an even bigger workload, not knowing when Ben Simmons is going to be there, and even if they do trade Ben Simmons, it doesn't seem like they're going to get the all-star that they're looking for in return, at least not right now. And I don't know how much longer they're going to wait with this holdout, especially after the comments that Joel Embiid made today of this recording. So I say no. I think he's going to be injured again with that workload.
Right, and you have to look at teams like the up-and-coming Hawks, the Celtics, who got deeper from a bench perspective, so I like those teams there. And not knowing what you might get for a Ben Simmons kind of disappoints me and, makes it kind of leery to say, yes, he's going to lead them to a top 3 again. So I'm going to go with the no, which then transitions into the question number 2, which is what's the worst outcome for the 76ers and Ben Simmons?
For the Ben Simmons and the Sixers, I mean,
Yeah.
worst case scenario for Ben Simmons is he has to stay and doesn't get paid for the entire season,
Yep.
right? I mean, he gets penalized. That's the worst case scenario for him. Worst case scenario for the Sixers is they still don't trade him. They keep penalizing him. They're going to have to keep going through this entire – I mean, it distracts from what they were trying to do. They were one game away of being in that Eastern Conference Finals, and now they have to deal with this entire situation with Ben Simmons. And this is another thing for you, Leo, that goes back to the last question is if Joel Embiid does have this workload, right, and we both said no, we don't think he stays healthy, over under 65 games played for Joel Embiid next season.
Oof. That's always been the question for me. It's how great is he? Because to me, availability is the best ability, and he's never truly available. And Ben Simmons always has to cover for his ass in that way where that if Embiid is down, I feel confident as a coach, as a fan base, that Ben Simmons will help me win games. If he's not there, Tobias Harris becomes your second best player. Then that's the next question, right? So these are all questions that would really concern me. I would go with the under on that. So, again, the combination of Embiid and Tobias Harris is question number 3. Do you see that being a very good duo or a middle-of-the-pack type duo in the Eastern Conference?
Look, I'll say this. I think Joel Embiid has the opportunity. So let's say the over-under on games played for Joel Embiid sits, if I'm Vegas, I'm putting at 65 and a half games, right? If I was a betting man, I would personally take the over just because of the needed ability for him to be there, right? Best ability is the availability, right? So I think he knows he's going to have to be on the floor. My question to you is this. Is Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris on the same level as Giannis and Chris Middleton? In my personal opinion, I say they're on the same level, but let's say there's an A and B portion of that level, and I give that A portion to Giannis and Middleton. So I do think they can be good, but it depends on what they get back for Ben Simmons. Because let's say, for example, they make a trade and they get a guy like
D'Lo.
That's who I think they're getting traded to. I think he's going to go to Minnesota. Okay. I think all signs are starting to point that way. If they get a guy like D'Angelo Russell and you add that to a Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, that combination works. But if you start adding in guys, let's say he gets traded to Sacramento and you add a Davion Mitchell and a Buddy Hield and a Bagley, I still think it works, but I don't think it hits the same way. So
what if you get a Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, and Marvin Bagley?
I mean, it just kind of. I mean, for me, Harrison Barnes is basically a lower version of Tobias Harris, right? Like, or they're essentially the same player.
Yeah, to me
they can play they're 3-4 combos. They essentially swap each other. I don't know how good that works on the floor together. I really have to see that because they essentially play the same game, right? So they're just going to be separating itself out.
But they create that spacing for Joel Embiid, and I don't know. I feel like I like Harrison Barnes a little bit more than D'Lo, especially right now with them trying to compete for a championship. I like Maxey, which we'll get into, but I think Maxey there, who's a shooter, who can do a little bit of everything, I'm comfortable, and I'd rather have more versatility on the wing than a defensive liability like D'Lo. But that's just my take.
I think you no matter what, if let's say for example we're in this scenario now where it's the Kings, if they have Buddy Hield, they have Maxey, and they have Barnes, you know what Barnes and Buddy bring. It's that spacing, right?
Right.
I think Tobias Harris definitely helps Joel Embiid. It's your belief in Maxey, and if we are doing this scenario, the Kings are probably giving up Davion Mitchell or Tyrese Halliburton in any trade for Ben Simmons. I think that's who your real starting point guard is.
Oh,
and
for sure.
If it's Davion Mitchell, man, that team is still defensively minded, still scary. And why have we not even mentioned Seth Curry yet? You know what I mean? Like, right. Seth Curry could even play that point guard position a little bit. I wouldn't really trust him to be that guy, but he could be that guy. You know what I mean? So,
well, they got Shake Milton there. They drafted Jaden Springer.
Milton, but no one talks about him enough.
Right. Okay, so question number 4 is Doc Rivers overrated?
No. He's rated exactly where he needs to be. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's won championships. Every team he's went to, they've gotten better. And you can say, hey, look at the roster that he had. Guess what? Those players had to sign there while he was there, right? So guess what? He helped build that team. He helped scout them. People don't talk about the other things behind the scenes of where Doc Rivers had to go and have those conversations and make sure they knew that they were going to be a part of it. And yes, everyone's talking about what he said after the Game 7 game and saying, I don't know if Ben Simmons really is that guy. And I do agree with that. Like, he can backtrack it all he wants. He did say that. But that entire season, don't forget what he was doing prior to that. He was supporting Ben. He was in Ben's corner. He is a player's coach, and I think he's known as the guy that can bring you to a championship. He's done it before. He's made the Sixers better from where they were. I believe Doc Rivers is rated exactly where he needs to be. He's not overrated. He's not underrated. He's rated correctly.
I would say he's on the tad overrated only because he does get this recognition to be this great coach, which I think he's a good coach. I just don't think he's a great coach, and he's proven that throughout his career. He has one championship, but every time he's in big moments with leads in the playoffs, he doesn't understand, or he hasn't adjusted the right way, being up 3-1 the most recent collapse. And we've had clips of Phil Jackson saying this is a Doc Rivers ran team and they will give up leads. And that's exactly what the Sixers also recently did to the Atlanta Hawks. So it's not a one-time thing, dude. This has happened so many times for Doc Rivers, and it just makes me believe that he's a good regular season coach. But when it comes down to crunch time, he's not that guy. And I just don't think he's a guy to lead them to a championship. I don't.
Let me ask you this question. Who's a better coach, Doc Rivers or Mike Budenholzer?
Budenholzer. Budenholzer has always been a great season coach. The question was, can he get over the hump?
How many championships did Budenholzer win? How many championships did he win?
1.
Okay. How many has Doc won?
1.
Okay. So they're exactly the same. So the only reason why you think Budenholzer is better is because he just recently won.
Let's move on. Tyrese Maxey, the starting point guard. Will he be the starting point guard?
Tyrese Maxey?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, he has to. There's no Ben. I mean, I personally like Shake Milton a little bit more as a starter. I think he helps.
Is he more of the ceremonial starter, the guy that gets called?
Yeah. He's like he starts, but I don't know if he finishes games.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think that it should be Shake, but I can definitely see Maxey's a really good player. Maxey has this. I think Maxey has this potential to be something special for him if they let him loose. He's fast. He has a mean Euro step. He likes to get to the basket, and he has a sneaky good jump shot. So
he does.
I like Maxey a lot. I just think that when the games start and there's no Ben Simmons, I think they do go Milton just because I think he's a better distributor, and that's what they're going to need right now.
I'm going to go with Tyrese Maxey starting, but at number 6, Matisse Thybulle takes another positive step. Do you think that's true or false?
False.
Why?
I just don't think that offense is there. And we've seen it countless times over and over and over again where, oh my gosh, he's hitting jump shot. Look, guys, anyone can hit a jump shot on Instagram. I'm telling you that
Yeah.
right now. Anyone on
Even Ben
Instagram can hit a
Simmons.
jump shot. Even Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons looks
Even
great
Andre
on Twitter.
Drummond.
Look at Marvin back. Yo, you know who can hit a jump shot so clean?
Willie
And it's your
Cauley-Stein.
best friend, bro. Let me shout this man out because he's joined both of our podcasts. This guy is dope. You taught him how to do vlogs. Costa Kuvas has a handle. Costa Kuvas got a jumper while you're on IG. And yeah, anybody has a jumper. So no, I think he stays the exact same. I didn't see anything in the Olympics that said he was going to be better. He looks the exact same player. He's going to be a role player off the bench. I hope he's better though, because I love his defense.
Definitely elite defense. Could be a top 5 defender very, very soon if he's not there already. Andre Drummond, question number 7. Is he a reliable backup?
Yes, he's a reliable backup. He's a big man. He's only going to get you 15 minutes a game. You know I love Andre Drummond. He's definitely not – he doesn't fit in the league that we have today for big minutes, but he definitely can fill that Dwight Howard type of role where he comes in there, grabs you 6 to 10 rebounds, depending on the minutes that he gets. And, you know, he can get you 8 points. He doesn't do much else, but he's a big body that lets Joel Embiid breathe. And he also gives you something that if Joel Embiid gets in trouble, foul trouble, which I think we're going to see a lot of this year as well if there's no Ben for him, that he's a heavy screener. He's going to let guys like Maxey and Tobias Harris really work downhill or work in those pick and pop situations just purely on his screens. So I think he's a very reliable backup. I think people still sleep on him because of how I'll see him, right? Like he just empty calorie stats, right? He's not really the greatest, but the things that he can do can help your team if used correctly, and I think he can be used correctly on this roster.
I can't say it any better. Andre Drummond, to me, has been a backup for a while now, and it's time that he starts a season as a backup. Even last year when the Lakers signed him, he is the guy that's going to play next to AD. I was like, dude, relax. Laker fans are going to end up hating him because they're going to expect too much and get so little. That's exactly what happened. Unfortunate situations. He wasn't in his best, I would say, health-wise with the toe and a bunch of other extracurricular stuff that happened, some variables that he couldn't control. But it is what it is. He's in a new situation. He is now starting for the first time ever off the bench, which I think is the best role for him. And it's just so funny that it happens to be under Joel Embiid, a guy that has just dominated him, who has owned real estate in his life and his mind for the last, 7 years.
It was so bad that Joel Embiid tweeted about owning space in his mind. Not rented, bought property in his mind. Like, roasting this man. You know, you got to be... Do you go to practice day one, not like training camp opens, and you're drumming? You say, "Hey, bro, cameras is gone. Let's just finish this real quick. Let's go." You throw one-on-one. No, you don't throw fists up, bro. He owned you. You got to play one-on-one. Joel Embiid, you can't hurt your guy, right? I mean, we saw you can't hurt nobody. So guess what? You just got to play one-on-one and just see what happens. Because Joel Embiid is gonna F-word him up, bro. He can shoot. He can post. He's gross.
That's what I meant too by like not fist, but like let's play some one-on-one. I don't want you guys to misinterpret what I just said. Okay, number 8, preferred starting fives. I'm gonna go with Maxey, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Milton, Seth Curry.
Wow.
Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid.
Okay, so I got Curry, Korkmaz, Drummond, Shake Milton, and Jaden Springer off the bench. Makes a lot of sense.
I think Maxey and Korkmaz together as a 1-2 punch or even 1-3 punch off the bench makes more sense. And plus, I want Maxey to have more control of the offense. Yeah. Like for example, like if you put him into the starting lineup, he has to be a distributor. That's why I'm saying I think Milton starts over him. He's a willing passer. He's good at coming off screen and catching and shooting, where Maxey's a downhill player. Like he can get you with that in-out move and get to the post and then throw it out. He plays essentially like a Ish Smith or a De'Aaron Fox, and I think that they're looking for more of like a I don't want to say Chris Paul because Milton is not on that level, but like someone like that. You know what I mean? Like just a good role player, like a D'Anthony Melton type of player.
That's actually a fair comparison. I hope he becomes as good as Melton. Okay. Record predictions. I have the Sixers taking a step backwards, winning 45 games, so 45-37.
So we didn't talk about what our answers were going to be.
Right.
but I also have them having 45 wins this season.
Okay, that's
So,
fair. And
so that's
and
good.
again, just to reiterate everything, my biggest reason why is because there's such a huge unknown with Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons plays, they're a 52-win team to me. But because I don't know what the return will be for him, will it be 25 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar? Like, we don't know. It could be 10 cents on the dollar. Who knows, right? So that is the reason why I have him at 45 wins. I know Sixer fans may be upset at that, but I just have to be objectively fair about it, because if I was at a casino and I had money on this, whatever their over under is, I'm going with the under. That's just the way it is.
Can I throw a sneaky team out there for Ben Simmons that no one talks about, but I
Go
can
ahead.
just see it happening
Go
because he
ahead.
plays point guard? I think Toronto.
He'd be a great fit there.
I think that's a team that no one's talking about. Pascal has money. They have contracts. They have expiring contracts. And on top of that, they have picks. And Masai Ujiri loves to make some trades. I'm not saying that that's anything. I'm not hearing nothing. I'm just saying a team that no one's talking about, where if you wanted to exile Ben Simmons but he can make an impact right away with a young roster. Now that they've signed Freddie VanVleet, they got Gary Trent Jr. Those are two shooters they can put around him. And you can still have Ben be your actual point guard with Scotty Barnes. I'm just saying, man. I'm not giving up Scotty Barnes in that deal. That's why I'm saying
No
that's
way.
probably why. But you give up Pascal Siakam, Tobias Harris, and whatever other pieces that they got to mix together, bro. There's something there. Money's there.
All right, guys, let us know if you agree or disagree with our takes with these 10 questions. Do you guys feel that these 10 questions are the biggest questions going into this upcoming season? Drop your comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you on the next one.